Now, going over to the business balloon of the day, you have Once Upon a Farm Kid Snacks having lead. Now, this is brought to us thanks to Fox Business, which is somehow miraculously still in business. Which, I mean, who would have thought that after paying, was it $258 million settlement for the Dominion voting machines? But nevertheless, this is from Greg Wilner over at Fox Business, and he says, quote, popular organic kid snacks found to contain high levels of lead, according to consumer reports. The FDA has not set standards on heavy metals in baby food products, including snacks. Now, the text would be a little bit boring, but they say, quote, study conducted by Consumer Reports discovered that 2 popular brands of kid snacks contain elevated levels of lead though federal standards have not been set for heavy metals in baby foods. The FDA only set limits on heavy metal in infant rice, cereal, and juice, though it is working on putting standards in place for categories of baby foods, or other categories of baby foods. The owner of Lead Safe Mama, Tamara Rubin, published a study on her website, or story on her website about lesser evil and Serenity kids products containing lead. Rubin's company focused on preventing lead poisoning and raising awareness, which she's really brought to the forefront culturally and business-wise, because she was the one who noticed that the tumblers for the Stanley, iconic tumblers that people are paying, 40, 50, 60, $850 on electronicbay.com because they're pink, they have the Starbucks logo on it, but they're paying that much for them, and then they found, oh yeah, the sealant little at the bottom, which again did not touch the liquid, was made of lead. And in her specific use case, she tested, there appeared to have lead material or remnants of lead in the cup, which again, some people couldn't replicate, some people could replicate. Now, going down, you can actually see some of these snacks, which I don't want to say, some might argue it's appropriately, with Toy Story little figures on them, just because, it's become poison. I mean, at least entertainment-wise. So, a little dark humor, I suppose. Now, they say the study found that Lesser Evil's Little Puffs Intergalactic Voyager Veggie Blend Puffed. Jeez Louise, terrible. What kind of marketing is that? One of the worst titles of a product. How many words are in that? Nevertheless, marketing aside, they contain more lead per serving than any of the 80 baby foods Consumer Reported had tested since 2017. Specifically, the test found that the lead content was 112% of the maximum allowable dose levels established by California Proposition 65. Let's see here. Here's a little infographic that shows you Little Puffs. Sounds like a rapper, but I guess it's a snack, actually. Say Little Puffs Intergalactic Voyager Veggie Blend. Looks disgusting. I don't know what kid would eat that. They say serving size is 35 puffs. Consumer Reports recommends less than half of a serving per day, which, let's be honest, when it comes to those little food containers, people just, more often than not, I can't believe remember when I was a kid, there's a whole industry of people making little food clips for bags, instead of using a standard office, binder clip, which is what I use because I'm a guy, but they'd have these little plastic cute ones. There'd be a plastic little clip you put on a bag of chips. Yeah, but I think that industry is just out of business because of how people just eat everything these days just by opening the bag. So when they say we recommend only eating half of it, I can't help but think, yeah, that's not happening. More often than not, the kids are probably gorging themselves on the entire container, fortunately. They say that, quote, based on these levels, Rogers recommended children be given 1.5 servings of puffs at most per day. Rogers warned that the serving size of the puffs are smaller than people might realize. According to Consumer Reports, a single serving of Intergalactic Voyager Veggie Blend is 17 puffs, while the Serenity Kids puffs are sold in 1.5 ounce container with 6 servings. Which, granted, I know I'm not the target audience, but this must appeal to moms somewhere. Those long, weird titles or long, weird product names. Serenity Kids, really? But nevertheless, they noticed that the Once Upon a Time farm products tested to have very low levels of lead. Consumer Reports said, accounting for some of the lowest in all baby food ever tested previously. Now, they're showing how much it increased over time. Now, Rogers also said clearly some manufacturers need to do a better job of having their heavy materials out of the food snacks, and there may be some particular concerns about the foods made with cassavana. So, yeah, they're help to think their sales are going to go down precipitously. And yeah, one of those things where, especially with kids' toys and kids' foods, because again, not only is it just morally and also emotionally even worse when children are exposed to lead, it's one of those things where when you're developing, that is when the lead will affect you the most. It's when you can have the most detrimental effect on the health of the person, is when the individual is actually, a baby or a child. So it adds insult to injury that it's actually a child food product. And again, I'm not sure who's in charge of the testing department or the quality assurance departments at this company. But again, California is one of the largest markets on the planet. I mean, in automotive, they're the 10th largest market in the world. So again, there's a lot of reasons and incentives to do business there. So again, even if you don't agree with the law, if you're doing business there, you need to do just a little extra effort to actually make sure you're operating within those laws, and in this case, within that accepted levels of lead, which is quite concerning that there's lead to begin with in those types of foods. Probably examine and evaluate the food chain and what kind of stuff we're putting into it. Another topic for another time, perhaps. But the fact that they didn't have the quality assurance up there, and the fact that now you have all these news articles noting, oh yeah, your child food has lead in it. I gotta say, once upon a farm, kids, that is certainly the business blunder of the day. Thank you everyone for taking the time to tune in. Again, trying to get to 4,000 subscribers by the end of the month. So if you could click that button, I would greatly appreciate it. Also, leaving a thumbs up, thumbs down, or comment is a great way to give me some additional feedback, letting me know how I can make the show better and better. Lastly, don't forget to take the time to tell your family, tell your friends, tell your coworkers, heck, tell your enemies, tell anyone and everyone. Just stay safe, fight the good fight.